The spoiled kid complained that walking was too tiring. He then set his sights on a paralyzed old man in a wheelchair. Unexpectedly, the old lady not only didn't stop him, but even praised her grandson for being smart. The spoiled kid immediately went behind the old man. Then, with a strong push, he launched him forward. The next second, the wheelchair hit the stairs and flipped over. The old man fell to the ground, unconscious. Seeing this, the grandmother and grandson laughed happily. But at the same time, the spoiled kid's mother suddenly had a bad feeling. She urged her husband to discipline their child. Hearing his wife's words, the man pushed her hand away. He said he was about to be promoted to general manager. No matter what trouble his son caused, he could handle it. But the woman still felt uneasy, because her husband's boss was at the same hospital for a checkup. She always worried that their son would do something outrageous, because similar things had happened too many times before. It turned out, the spoiled kid had been pampered by his grandmother and father since childhood. Because of this, he became reckless and unruly. When he saw a blind person's cane on the street, he would snatch it and break it, and his grandmother never stopped him. Instead, she always found excuses to defend him. Over time, this only fueled the boy's arrogance. At a young age, he even barged into women's restrooms and openly lifted girls' skirts. If anyone dared to defy him, he would punch and kick them. His mother was deeply troubled, but every time she tried to discipline him, her mother-in-law would step in and stop her. She even declared that if anything happened, she would take full responsibility. Then she would take her grandson and storm off angrily. After walking just a few steps, the boy complained that he was tired from hitting people. He couldn't walk anymore. This made the grandmother feel heartbroken. Looking around, she quickly came up with another idea. The grandson thought it made perfect sense, so he acted immediately. He forcefully pushed a wheelchair parked by the roadside down a slope, without any regard for the elderly person in it. The out-of-control wheelchair sped down at 80 miles per hour and crashed into a roadside stone pillar. The old man's head hit a sharp edge. His life and death were uncertain, yet the grandmother and grandson were overjoyed that their plan had worked. Then, they shamelessly took someone else's wheelchair for themselves. But after just a few steps, the boy felt that a pregnant woman was blocking his way. When he learned that she was about to give birth, a sinister idea popped into his mind. Without hesitation, he pushed her to the ground. His reason? He wanted to see if falling could make the baby come out. Watching the bright red blood spread, the boy was so excited that he stomped his feet in joy. The pregnant woman was in grave danger. Luckily, her husband happened to be nearby. Seeing someone approach, the old lady immediately turned to leave. But how could the man let them go so easily? He stopped them and demanded an explanation. Yet the old lady started making excuses, saying it was just a light push, that it wasn't so easy to cause a miscarriage. She even claimed the woman was unlucky, that she was destined to be lonely and miserable. Then she threatened him, saying her son was a big shot, and if they dared to mess with her, her son would deal with them one by one. But she had no idea that this time, she had messed with the wrong person. The man standing before her was the chairman of the corporation, and her son was just a low-level manager in one of its subsidiaries. Just moments ago, her son had eagerly flattered the chairman when he saw him at the hospital. The chairman was quite pleased, and had been planning to promote him after the new year. Little did he know, his son's behavior would soon drag him into an abyss of despair.